Happy birthday!
Birthday.
Well, I mean,
Hello, brothers.
it's happy birthday to us, actually. It is Book Bar's 1-year anniversary. And I am Sarah.
I'm Christy.
And
we're
the Book Bar. This is the first time that we actually aren't in person together, which is very sad. I feel lonely.
We are trying to be safe. All this COVID craziness going on out there. So we have decided to do alternate places.
But I feel close to you. We're here.
Yes, we're here. They're here. It's bigger than yours.
It is.
Look,
Do I need to move? There we go. There are my hands. There we go. High five. Well, we thought we would start out this fun birthday celebration with a look back over our past year here at the Book Bar. And you can't look back without bloopers.
Hello, book lovers. I'm Christy.
And I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Book Bar.
And we are so excited to create this platform. No, do it again.
We're excited.
Do it again.
It's on.
We are so excited to create this platform We are so excited to create this platform where authors can connect with other authors. Is that going to be a problem? What we hope to accomplish.
Yes.
Full force.
Yes.
Full force. So basically, we are one-stop shop for all things writing. And as authors ourselves, we know querying process and shit like that. So if you're an author, no matter where you are in the process, hit our subscribe button and follow us on Twitter at bookbarauthors. I almost said .com.
.com.
So if you're a writer, no matter where you are in the process, hit our subscribe for upcoming talks and giveaways.
We're so excited to connect with all of you and hear everyone's story and journey. But since we can't meet in person these days, why don't you grab your favorite drink, hit our subscribe button,
and their books, as well as educate the literary community through live chats, workshops, and more.
But I didn't know my line.
You know, I have looked at that little blooper reel of and I've actually viewed the final video on YouTube several times, and I still laugh about how scripted we were because we're not normally that type of person. We just like to have conversations. So I think my favorite part in the final video that we made, which you can see in our videos on our YouTube channel page, is like, agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. I was what
exactly.
You said, but I was agreeing with you. So yeah, that's one of my faves. I watch it often.
Mm-hmm.
We're
fun. So we had our first guest that we were very excited about.
A year ago. My goodness, I can't believe it's been a year. So yeah, Kylie Schachte, who is a YA thriller author, and she wrote, Sarah's got the copy, You're Next. And you know, cool. Her paperback just came out, which has a brand new cover for the paperback, which is a pretty cool cover. I do look at her Twitter, but I don't see anything coming out yet. But I do know that she's going to be a Pitch Wars mentor this year.
Yeah, and she was one last year, and I think she's been a Pitch Wars mentor for a few times now.
2, 3, yeah. So, and the person that she mentored last year got picked up by a pretty top agent. So anybody that's interested in looking into that, I highly recommend looking into Kylie as being your mentor. So
Yeah, and Pitch Wars, like the wish lists, aren't those coming out September, beginning of September?
yeah, so the actual mentors have been announced. And then if you need to see the schedule, you can just go to pitchwars.org and the 2021 schedule is up there. And we'll have a link to that down in the description. So,
What clip
go
are
get
we
to see
going to
that.
see of us and Kylie?
Yeah, this is about her kind of inspirational story. It's again, it's one of those magical ones where you've got this one book and then you bleed
How
in
many of
it
us
and
have blood, sweat, and tears in our book? I
just
swear.
dripping from your fingertips, right?
Hmm.
And she put in the work and it paid off for her. So
Hmm. Well,
take
let's
a look.
see that clip.
Very different from what normal people would think is long. So my path to publication is a 6-year story, and that is actually probably on the short side of things. So I started writing the book in 2014. I've been a writer all my life. Since the moment I could pick up a pencil, I've always just been a storyteller. It's always something that's come super naturally to me, and it never even occurred to me that I wouldn't write stories one day. So I started writing the story not really having any super clear ambitions around, I definitely want to get published. I want to be an author. This is the career that I want. I just started writing it. So this idea had popped into my head. I think I was writing it on my own, just kind of drafting and revising for a couple of years before somebody told me about the Pitch Wars mentorship program, which is a program in which you apply to get in. You work with a mentor for a period of a few months to revise, and in my case, completely rewrite your manuscript. And then it gets published in a showcase at the end where agents can see it and request to see more materials. So there's no guarantee that you end up with an agent at the end of it, but there have been quite a few big success stories that have come out of it. And so that's how I ultimately ended up finding my agent. And from there, worked with her to revise it, submit it to publishers, and ultimately it was picked up by Jimmy Patterson Books.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Our second guest, I mean, love him. Love him, love him. Another,
Love. Big heart.
right? Another Twitter, I swear, if you're a writer and you're not on Twitter, missing out.
Good writing community.
Right? And so his success was it Pit Mad or was it
Mad? Yeah, he had, gosh, we had the
1,000?
paper. It was 1,500. It was a lot.
Yeah, I remember him saying in our interview where he was like, "Make sure you start writing down your hearts because they disappear after 100 or something." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll make sure I do that." My 3 hearts, I'll make sure I write them down. Thank you. No, but in all seriousness, he was amazing and love him and cannot wait for his book to come out. And I know he's been working diligently with his agent on that. He also, side note, is a spitting image of Winston from New Girl. When I was when we were interviewing him, I'm looking at him why does he look so familiar?
I know you.
And then as soon as we finished the interview, I was like, it's Winston. And I emailed him and I was like, by the way, does anybody ever say you look like Winston? And he's like, all the time. And I'm like, okay, just want to know. So yeah.
I'm just checking.
Just checking.
He is what a human being should be. He's just humble and kind and friendly and supportive. And he is the epitome of what writers should do. He gives back. When he is published, he wants to give. He wrote, he taught creative writing to young kids. He inspires me.
We were both the whole time,
just all ears, give it to me. Yes, he was just amazing. And I know the clip we're going to watch talks about he actually went through a time where he thought about quitting,
Mhm.
which, I mean, I know that probably goes through a lot of writers' heads. I know if you are a querying author and you've been rejected in this subjective business, as Sarah and I have, we
And
understand
if you want, shameless plug on how to handle rejection, I did a video, so just, go to that one.
down there in the tips and
Down
tricks.
there, yeah, in our book bar.
Yeah. No, I related to this clip because I've been there. I mean, every day you kind of question yourself, like, what's it all for? You, again, bleed over the typewriter. Oh my gosh, I just aged.
Typewriter. Well, okay.
Did I say that?
There's a reason that it's taking you so long,
Oh,
Christy.
oh my God, how old am I?
I know, you did it yourself. It's okay.
Really starting to
It's
set
okay.
in. Anyway, let's get past that.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look.
I did a homework assignment on a typewriter when I was in school one time, so I'm just saying.
Well, thank God, because you can stand with me.
I can. So I will always. But here is RJ's clip. Hope you are equally as inspired as we were and can equally cheer him on as we do because we love him.
A few days, well, actually about a week before I decided that I was going to actually do Pit Mad, I was already battling with whether or not I actually wanted to keep writing. So I figured I'd go ahead and throw that out there, that I was already on the verge of getting ready to set it aside and rethink maybe there might be a different career path for me. I've struggled a lot throughout my lifetime, but anyway, I'll get to that. But anyway, when I actually decided to do Pit Mad, I ended up meeting like a bunch of different writer friends, agented friends, unagented friends, and all of them helped me like strengthen this pitch. So I wasn't expecting to really get any type of attention because the past manuscript that I tried doing pitches and queries, I couldn't get a request. I couldn't get anything, any type of likes. So I wasn't really expecting much out of this one. I thought it was going to be the same thing. But then once, Pit Mad came and I pitched, I was kind of in a disbelief at how quickly everything just started like picking up in terms of likes and retweets and I'm like, okay, well maybe the likes are just, I didn't look at it at first because I told myself at least for like the first hour, I'm not going to look at it because if I get a like, I'm going to get my hopes up, open it up, and it's going to be someone I know. I'm just like, oh, you like the tweet. I thought it was an agent.
Yeah, right?
My phone, but then my phone just kept going off like crazy. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what like this never happened before. So then I finally look and I'm seeing, some people liking it, but then I've seen agents liking them. So I was kind of like in disbelief. Like I literally had to put my phone down for a second. I was just like, no, there's no way I got an agent. Like I don't get agent likes. That doesn't happen to me.
You got agent likes.
And then it just kept going and it kept going. And then I started getting like messages from my friends like, hey, your tweet is like, it's going nuts. Aren't you excited? I'm just like, I still can't believe this is happening right now. Like I'm still stuck like in disbelief. Like, nah, that's not my tweet. And then throughout the entire day, it was just this overwhelming, like my heart was just like the anxiety and the rush, like this tingling in my fingers. It just wouldn't stop. And it was just like I just had to get like, pen and paper, start writing this stuff down. I had to like focus and just like, okay, I gotta write all these down. And, I started, messaging people. Like my phone was it was just a whirlwind of emotions.
All right. So our third guest, or guests, because two, were the Laceras, who wrote Zombies Don't Eat Veggies. And we got to this was so fun because not only did we get to have our girls in and they asked questions.
Our little daughters, Aislinn and Emma.
Yes, it was also on Halloween, which, this year I felt like we needed a fun thing on Halloween anyways, so we did dress up. However, we have learned that green and white makeup on camera looks horrible.
We're not meant to be zombies. Look, we're
gonna make up for it this Halloween though.
Right? So we have no business putting on gray makeup and washing ourselves out.
It was
purple and green wigs. It was just so bad.
We looked horrible. But luckily we were trying to be zombies, so I mean technically
it was an A for effort.
We looked undead. We did look undead.
We did.
But the one, I'm actually going to show 2 little clips from our time with them. And the first one is just us and our girls and everybody dancing to the Zombies Don't Eat Veggies song. Because who is cooler than them that get to have a song connected to their book?
Like catchy song.
Right? It gets in your head. So just forewarn, it'll get in your head. And then the second clip will just be, the whole interview was awesome with them, but they're
amazing.
It was so interesting, and I think people overlook children's books so many times because they're just like, oh, it's a kid's book, but we got into so much depth of this story because it actually applied to parents and how we should act as humans and how we should be to each other. And so it was just crazy just how they talked about how like a psychologist had reviewed like their book and like all the different things that people could get from it.
Yeah.
It was just really neat.
The themes were endless.
Yeah.
Just like you said, how to be a better parent, accepting our children for who they are.
Right.
Not what we want them to be.
Yeah. So this book, don't overlook children's books. Can't tell you how many times I've, gotten something out of them or, teared up as I'm like reading a story to Emma and I'm like, this just means so much. It's so good, So here is our clip or clips of our time with the Laceras.
Zombies don't eat veggies. Zombies don't eat veggies. Zombies don't eat veggies. Zombies don't eat veggies.
Got that song in our head.
Oh my gosh.
All day.
That, but it was a hope that maybe if a parent was reading it with their kid, go, oh, maybe I'm not handling this the right way. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to look at myself a little bit more. And we have had a few people say things like that, like I didn't really look at it in this way. And because it is silly and zombies and weird food and, the mom's head pops off, it kind of opens you up in a way that something that's very didactic and like, this is how you should parent. It gets through in a little bit different way. So we're happy about that.
There was a really interesting moment. Yeah,
Yes.
there was a really interesting moment. I'll just add that my aunt is a reporter, a news reporter in Colombia, and so she did a reading. She played the reading of the Spanish version over the air, and then she surprised us, and she had a psychologist come on the air, and he proceeded to give this like amazing in-depth analysis of the book that touched on all the stuff that we didn't even know was in there, and then he tied it somehow to.
Like,
he tied it into, oh yeah, of course, absolutely, yeah. That great thing was he tied it into society and how he's like, if we could all sort of take an example of the parents, how like we could bridge those gaps and differences with other people and sort of see that there is common ground, and as long as it's done with like a mindfulness and openness, that you can find that. And I was like, that was so cool. That was something that was awesome. That was really special.
Which is very important in our world right now.
Especially right now.
Like, no wonder you guys are up for so many awards, because it's like,
it's a beautiful message.
Right?
And such a
let's take note from a child's picture book, All right, so our fourth guest that we were supposed to have.
Right.
However, I put a kink in that little plan of ours, was Janice Lynn. And she wrote, well, the first one was Wrapped Up in Christmas. The one we were going to talk with her about was Wrapped Up in Christmas Joy, which is this one. But we actually get to talk with her this December. Hopefully everyone's well.
We finally get to wear our Hallmark Christmas movie shirts.
Yes. Okay, so Wrapped Up in Christmas Hope will be the one that we talk with her on December 11th. But we didn't this time because I got COVID.
Stupid COVID.
Hashtag COVID Christmas.
Hate you, COVID.
I know that was my exciting holiday adventure. But we all survived. Thanks goodness. So we don't have any clips from that one, but stay tuned in December. Yeah. So that moved us, once everyone was healthy, to our 2021 January guest, where we finally got an agent / author.
Yes. John Cusick. There it is.
John Cusick.
Author of Dimension Y. Now that's his middle grade book. Mm-hmm. And he has 2 others, YA, which is Cherry Money Baby and Girl Parts.
Cherry Money Baby. Yes.
Cherry Money Baby.
So this was hilarious.
Super fun book.
Best book. And I mean, if we're ranking interviews, I would say best interview. We had so much.
Now here, I'm going to throw out a little competition for you there, because here's the deal about this guy. He represents the Laceras whom we interviewed, and as fun of an interview as we had with him, which we're going to talk about. True. Him and the Laceras are neck and neck in regards to most views, and the Laceras are winning. So is it the best? So far, the Laceras are the best by 1, but that's data driven.
It's a race. We'll see who comes out, on top. But he did get to provide us both the author brain and agent brain. So we kind of got best of both worlds with him. And
and that's from his YouTube channel, Agent Brain, Writer Brain, Agent Brain. So we'll have a link to that down below.
Yes. And we are actually going to be talking with him.
And November 6th is the date we talk to him.
Yes. So that will be fun. Again, to also go back to Lacera's, Jorge Lacera does have a book coming out that he illustrated for another author, and it's called Exoplanet, I believe.
Yes.
So that is exciting. And then their together Lacera team book is coming out next in 2022. Yes.
Fall of 2022.
All of 2022. It's just all.
Ooh, it's gonna be a new year. It's gonna be a new year.
Anyways, on to our clips with John. If you haven't read the book, you probably won't understand it, but you'll see that we are calling ourselves Jeremy and Jeremy. That's our names underneath. And so, again, you have to read the book to understand that. And John is going to do a voice of the Jeremys. And it's just funny. It's funny to hear him voice it. And then we did a fun little game at the end with him. And we asked him to tell his best joke. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get it.
Well, and what's funny is I wasn't necessarily laughing at the joke.
You were laughing at me.
I was hysterical. I was laughing at your just blank reaction.
I'm like,
yeah. And you're honest. We're honest people. I don't get it.
I didn't get it.
So I was mostly laughing.
But I did get it. Get it. And I emailed him later and I said, I get it. So to be clear, I understand it now. It just took me a minute.
And for those who are about to watch it, we're not going to give it to you. But all you have to do is think prepositionally.
Mm-hmm.
So all we're going to say.
Prepositionally. Yes. So here are our here are our
Yeah.
here here is our most favorite clips with John.
So this was really when my wife and I first were dating. I started working on this book sort of as a way to make her laugh. And it would be, usually I would write a chapter in the morning and then later I would read it to her out loud. So it was almost written as an audio book. It was always in my head as something to say out loud. So I think in terms of inside jokes or whatnot, it's basically just my best impersonation of her sense of humor kind of mapped into a sci-fi story. So, you know, the Mr. Jeremy and the Jeremies, who are all fog mutants and work various menial jobs throughout the universe. I think they exist because I wanted the first character that Lola, one of the main characters, meets in the book, to have a silly voice. And so still to this day, my wife and I will say, hello, like so we feel like
how I heard
him.
That's how I heard him.
Yeah. Very, very earnest, like, you know, sometimes you get to die, you know, like it's very and of course, I think the big inside joke, though not that inside, if you follow me on Instagram or whatnot, is that one of the other characters, Professor Donut, is modeled after our cat Donut, who is very large and orange, much less friendly and gracious than the Professor
He's very dapper
Donut.
and dainty.
I did try to find, this is the only cat in a suit I could find, but I did try. What's the funniest joke you know by heart?
I don't know many jokes by heart. I will say favorite joke is, how far can a dog run into the woods? Halfway, because the other half he's running out.
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
I don't get it. Sorry.
She's cute.
Sorry. It's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. Professional funny writer over here. Yeah.
I got it.
She'll tell me later. I will laugh, I promise.
So one of my favorite things during the interview with John that people may not see there is you eating green Jello while we're interviewing John Cusick.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean, something you have to have read the book to understand, but you know.
Because generally we try to do some personal connections with all of our authors. For the Laceras, we dressed up like zombies and we made finger foods.
Yep.
For him, you were eating Jeremy. You were eating.
I was eating Jeremy. I was called Jeremy and I was eating Jeremy. So yes.
You ate him.
Very twisted.
It's good times.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And had we been able to interview Janice, we would have been decked out in Hallmark, and I even bought like Hallmark Christmas wine. You know, I mean, I was ready.
Yeah. We had some quilt stuff that, you know, because it's centered around, the story is centered around making quilts for soldiers.
We're just saving it. We're saving it all for December. So
next up was a pretty fave of mine.
Yes. I mean, so our 6th interview was Kit Frick for I Killed Zoe Spanos. And
I hurt her.
I rewatched the interview and it was probably one of our most educational interviews. She is a wealth of knowledge. She has so much knowledge.
She's amazing.
On writing, on how to write, on how to balance life. I mean, she's a machine. She is a machine.
A very but human, so human. A human machine. Is there such a thing? It's Kit Frick. Mm-hmm. But her writing, her writing just sucks me right in. She's so descriptive and just beautiful and poetic. And I know she also is a poet. But she does have a brand new book.
She does now.
She's got another one coming, and I cannot wait.
Yes, Very Bad People.
Very bad people.
Hopefully it's not us. We're not.
Never. We're not bad people. We're just misunderstood.
We're misunderstood. Misunderstood bad people.
Exactly. That comes out when? April 2022?
Yes.
Yes.
Fifth.
And
Fifth.
it's her boarding school book. So the setting is a boarding school.
Naughty.
Scandal.
Where very bad people are, apparently. Yes. But the clip that I'm going to show you guys for her really is just one of the many educational things that she embarked on us. But it was more like how her strategies for revision. So I thought maybe this would be a nice clip of like, not just funny, but like, here's some education. Let's just give you guys some education, writers out there who may have missed this interview. You know, if you're sticking with us for this review of a year, then here's a little bit of information for you to help with your strategies of revision, or at least on how Kit Frick does it, because I mean, we should take a page from her playbook, really.
For sure.
She was also now she's not this year, but she was also for several years. She said 4 out of the past 5 years, I think, in the interview, that she was a Pitch Wars mentor.
Yeah, another one. So that's Kylie. And RJ had tossed his hat into Pitch Wars, but did not get accepted. But again, Pitch Wars and Pit Mad are run by the same people. He's a Pit Mad success. And then now, of course, Kit Frick being a mentor, and her mentees have all been picked up. So,
yeah. And just to say, you know, I mean, like, if we look back on the stories of all these authors, you know, I mean, so Kylie didn't get picked up in Pitch Wars, right, as an author, correct? And RJ didn't. And Kit Frick said she didn't for her debut novel. She didn't get picked up. So, you know, that at least, you know, makes me feel a little bit better, you know, to know that, like, big time, you know, I mean, in my opinion, you know, big time, like, amazing writers, you know, they also didn't get picked up in Pitch Wars. So if you don't get picked up in Pitch Wars, like, don't think that you're not... that's
exactly
for you.
You know, you make a good point. And this is an author we haven't interviewed, but I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe someday she'll watch us and we will interview her. But Karen McManus also went into Pit Mad. I don't know that, but she also didn't get picked. So just goes to show you.
What is that saying about? I'm just all those missed opportunities. But you know, but yeah. So don't you know.
Don't count yourself out.
Don't pour the baby out with the bathwater, which I think is like the worst saying in the world. Who does that? Who does that? I don't even know how it applies here, but it went into my head. I'm just saying, don't quit writing. Isn't that don't toss the baby out? Don't toss the baby out with the bathwater.
I think that's the one.
It's a saying. And
it is.
And it doesn't
don't
make
toss
sense.
the baby out with the bathwater.
Yes, meaning don't stop writing just because you don't get picked up in Pitch Wars. There's my connection. All right. So here is our clip with Kit Frick on her knowledge on how to do revisions, or how she does them.
Thinking about the way words interact with each other on the page, it really comes into play for me in revision most saliently. I do listen, I read aloud when I'm revising. I have the computer read to me. I do think that all of those hours spent focusing on diction in poetry and focusing on, you know, line breaks and that sort of small minutia of poetry writing has had a payoff in my fiction writing when it comes to like that fiddly revision level editing.
Our very last interview that we've had is with Wendy Hurd. She is an adult thriller author, but also her latest was a YA thriller. Sarah's got that beautiful, gorgeous cover right there. She's too pretty to burn.
I want pink hair like this. Do you think I could pull it off?
I'm sorry, but I feel like that out of all of them, that is the just coolest cover.
I know. We should have dyed our hair pink.
I know. Let's do it.
Mm.
You know, the thing that I really liked about interviewing Wendy is we had a lot of connection. So if in the back of her, where she's in her room, there's a shelf, a lot like stairs. But no, no. In our interview with Wendy Hurd, and she has a shelf full of Christopher Pike books, and my direct line of sight over here is my Christopher Pike books from when I was in middle school and high school. And if you've never read Christopher Pike, you better go do that right now. Because he's the kind of guy, like, it's like a Fear Street with, I got in trouble for reading those books when I was in high school. My teacher would take them from me. And they're not bad. They're just, teenage horror stuff. But the other thing, too, is we talked a lot. She has a daughter in 5th grade. I'm a 5th grade teacher. So we talked a lot about that pre-interview. But what we were laughing about in the clip that I'm going to show you, if you've never heard the name A.J. Finn, you have heard. He's a very famous author, wrote Woman in the Window. But that's his pseudonym. His real name is Daniel Mallory. And this guy really likes to he's a jokester. He plays pranks. Mm-hmm. And so one of the pranks that he played was he put cups kind of all over, but what was in them. That was the biggest part of the prank. And it was urine. And I'm sorry, that's so gross. But to hear Wendy Hurd talk about it is just funny. And
I think we got on the whole topic of pranks because I mean, in the book,
we love them.
We do love, yes, we love pranks. But like in the book, there was all these different like art things that happened, and it was kind of, I mean, along the lines of pranks. I mean, but it wasn't. It was for a purpose. But I mean, it was just kind of like these mischievous things,
situations of, just like you're saying. I mean, they were artistic, but they could also be taken. Sometimes comical. I mean, sometimes horrible.
Right.
But
so it got us down that line, and then it was like, ooh, pranks, and we all started, talking about and I also did the cup thing, how minus the urine. I don't know how somebody
people.
I don't know how somebody has that much urine to fill up cups. Is all I'm just saying. I mean, like I can maybe fill up 3. I mean, on a good day, but I mean. You're going to have to like bag it and save it to like do, I mean, I filled an entire
this was like really just, it's like the guy, it's that level of the antagonist in her book. She's too pretty burn. That was exactly the level that AJ Finn, aka Daniel Mallory, is at in this prank. So, and he tried to blame it on a coworker. So go figure.
I mean, like, take credit. If you're going to do a prank, take credit. I mean, come on now. Why not?
So the clip you're going to see is basically us just laughing and having a good time with our girl, Wendy Hurd.
I mentioned that Woman in the Window is coming to Netflix as well. And shared with me of all of the scandalous little scammy things that AJ Flynn does, pseudonym. But
you got to read the New York
researching article. That a little bit more. Because I just need to know more. I think
pee in cups. Urine in cups.
Yeah. So apparently, one of the little tricksties that he does is put urine in cups for an enemy. So, have you ever done like a bad prank?
I've done a lot of pranks. I mean, not urine in cup level.
But here's the thing. He tried to blame it on his female colleague.
Right. Yeah.
On his cis female colleague. And it's like,
what's the worst?
It's not that.
My worst prank?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, I was in college. I liked to steal people's keys a lot. And so I would break into their apartments while they were sleeping. That sounds really bad. I would steal their keys and go get a copy made, and then I would return their keys, and then while they were sleeping,
Yeah.
while they were sleeping, I should write a book. Own voice.
What would you do?
Well, there were several things I did. So one time I went in and I filled the entire apartment with. Takes a really long time and you're real quiet, but like,
And they're sleeping.
They're sleeping. You get cups of just
urine.
No, cups of urine. No, I filled up cups with water, but they're like right next to each other, so you can't walk anywhere. You have to like literally pick up every cup, but at some point in time, like, where are you pouring this water? And if you knock it all over, so the entire floor. I mean, it's beautiful when it's all done, because I start like from the entrance of their door to their bedroom, and then just like work my way out towards the entrance of the apartment or whatever,
and then you just leave undetected. Who are you?
Well, that has been quite a look back for us. It has been a very fun year. We have, that was just like our interview portion of this year. I mean, we did do our Christmas Bookmas videos.
We did.
We didn't finish them because I got COVID, but we attempted. We had lofty goals. We did. We were doing 12 days of Christmas
every day.
Every day. It was
cool stuff. You have a lot of gifts for authors, cool things authors can use.
So I mean, definitely go check those out. If those are lasting. The gift options for authors. I mean, those were definitely. I almost bought every single one of those, I will say.
I think you came close, and I even bought a few. There's some over here on my shelf. The gloves, writing gloves. I do like writing gloves.
Not that my hands in Texas get cold during, the winter time, but I feel like it's a design. It's
through just to wear those.
It looked cool. Yeah. But so we did do that, and we've also been doing different videos, kind of more educational videos in the line of, different tactics with writing. I did a couple videos on rejection, which I've already mentioned. I mean,
we all share that.
We do all share that. Not that anybody wants to hear about it. I mean, we all experience it, but I mean, it's just like solidarity, and then I did one on how to write a query letter.
Yep.
And then you've done
yes, how to read free and cheap, because books are pricey, I mean, if you're like Sarah and I, we buy a lot of books.
I have a big problem. I mean, I have a really big problem. I mean, you've got a worse problem, I would say. But you have you have the how to read cheap, and then you have the e-reader, and then
so how to read free and cheap, so different ways that you don't have to spend a lot of money on reading. And then the choosing the best e-reader for you. So in that one, I talk about the Nook, which is sold by Barnes & Noble, the Kindle, which is an Amazon product, which is one of the most popular. And then because I have an iPad, I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I did just briefly talk about the iPad. Mm-hmm. And I have pre-ordered a Kindle Oasis for personal reasons, because I don't want, honestly, because it's waterproof. And you can take it with you a little bit more. iPads are, of course, portable, but with kids and stuff like that, going to the beach and the pool. I mean, we live in Texas. It's hot down here for a long time. So we go to the beach and the pool quite often, and I don't want to get it messed up. Yeah. Oh, and then writing a novel. Yeah, I did do that, didn't I?
You did do
How to write a scene in a novel, which is tough. I highly recommend any knowledge you can get on writing a scene in a novel. And I don't know if Sarah's got the book kind of close to her, but Save the Cat. And Save the Cat wrote a novel. There it is right there.
Let me get that for you.
That's plotting, but it does talk about plotting in scenes. But before you can plot in scenes, you have to know how to write a scene. Mm-hmm. And that is a really difficult task that you've got to wrap your head around. Because as authors, we tend to just kind of want to go, and pour it all in. And all of a sudden, one chapter or one scene's got like 5,000 words, and you're like,
It's all important. All words are important.
all words matter.
Kit mentioned also in her interview the craft book story genius, which
Yes, I have that one.
yeah.
Right here. It's
And that one also, yeah.
Story.
Right?
Oh my gosh, you're making me reach. Yes, these two right here.
Yes. Yes.
Story genius. This one. Because plot and story, I mean, it breaks down the difference. So many times we get kind of hung up on the plot, we forget about the story of the character.
Yeah.
So that one was eye-opening for me.
Yeah. So, and then you have one coming up that you talk to a lot of agents about. So everyone keep your eyes out for that one.
You're going to want to hear. It is the top 3 reasons agents reject a manuscript.
I know.
So
as I was reading emails from the agents, I'm like, do any of these apply to reasons we've been rejected? Surely
going back to the drawing board, or should I say typewriter? Let me type out
the
my
typewriter. Ding, 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 ding.
revise my story.
Yeah, but so that one
that is
you'll be doing that one, and we'll just be doing different videos throughout, weaving them in and out of our interviews as we go. Our next interview with an author is
local Houstonian.
Our girl. It's in October, and it is JL who wrote Wings of Ebony, and it is a very good book. It's being the whitest white girl that I am, actually did work in the inner city of Houston. So the things that she actually is talking about in here, I feel like I'm like, oh, I get that. I know.
Yes. And you have a huge connection to those kids. I mean, I remember those kids who came to Emma's baby shower.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have a.
They're still. They're still involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you still talk to all of them.
Yeah.
So
and they have gone off and become grown adults themselves. Back in the day when they were teenagers in the 3rd Ward of Houston. We were hanging out in my Mitsubishi Montero Sport, and, driving them around the city.
That's what I love with the Wings of Ebony. It again, going back to story versus plot, but I loved how she made a part of Houston and kind of the issues that happen in there into like this fantastical world. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it was quite the journey to read it. So
yeah, it's fun that it is. I mean, it is fantasy, but it's Houston. It's H-Town.
Fantasy is like real life fantasy.
Yeah, real life fantasy. I would like to have magic. I think that would be
wouldn't we all?
I know. Let's put the cuffs of magic on me. And then we've mentioned we're talking with John again for Dimension Y, Revenge of the Sequel.
Yeah,
that one will be November. And then December, we've got Janice and Wrapped Up in Christmas Hope.
Yeah,
so we've got things happening. Things happening this fall. We'll probably have to do this kind of setup, but
yeah. Unfortunately, being a teacher in Texas, things are a little. I mean, I'm sure people have seen the news, so we just have to keep everybody safe and healthy. But that's okay. Like I said, hopefully we'll get back to a normal sort of situation 2022, but we shall see.
Yep. But well, happy 1 year to you, Christy.
1 year to you, my friend, my co-author.
It has been a fun year, and hopefully we will have much more fun things to celebrate in year 2 together.
Yeah, I just
in the same.
Yes. I just can't I can't wait to see what we pull out of our hats this year. So it's been an adventure.
A lot under there. Mm-hmm.
been an adventure, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else but you.
Me neither. Well, our writing community, thank you for a wonderful year. Please check out all our other videos and subscribe to our page because we've got lots of more fun stuff coming up. And
thank you for all your love and support. We appreciate you. And educate us. Drop us a DM in Twitter. Let us know what things you want to see. And we have connections in this literary world.
We have no shame in reaching out to people that you'd want to hear from.
Persistence is key.
Yes. We'll find the people. We will work them down into these people's lives. But have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.